Yes. Oh, you know what that sound means. Time for In the Paddock F1. Greeny and the Cheese. Round 19 of the 2024 F1 season takes us high up to the high plateau. The Valley of Mexico, as it's called. That's right. Viva la Mexico! We're in Mexico City for the 24th time. It's the Mexican Grand Prix. Mexico City is the largest Spanish-speaking city in the world, home to 22 million people. It's the economic and cultural hub of Mexico. It's way up there, by the way, way up there, 7,349 feet above sea level, to be precise. That's some thin air up there, boys and girls. And while you're there in Mexico City, maybe you want to take a little day trip to Teotihuacan and check out those Mayan ruins. You get the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon to check that out. And also, you got to check out a Lucha Libre match. Come on. High-flying wrestling. Absolutely. Hell yes. And of course, you gotta stop and get some of that street food. Give me some of those street tacos. Heck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Who this ain't no
taco guy. Listen, you gotta go to Los Cocoyos. Los Cocoyos right in the center of the city. It's the best tacos. You can stand in line until 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's okay. Go ahead, sir.
Hey, we're going to Mexico City. We're going to party, so hell yeah. We're up to 3 o'clock in the morning. But this ain't no travel show. This is an F1 show. We're racing the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. 2.67 miles, 17 corners, 3 DRS zones. You give it the full beans for 48% of your lap. And oh yeah. By the way, for the second week running, ring those bells in Maranello, boys and girls. The cars are flying. What a race we got today in Mexico. Sainz took the lead from Max. Max then pushed Lando off track, got himself not one, but 2 10-second penalties. Lando then recovered. Carlos takes the win. Lando second. Leclerc takes third to round out the podium. Lots to unpack and discuss after that one. Holy smokes. We're caffeinated. We're medicated. Greeny. Good evening, sir.
I think Max Verstappen might need to get medicated after this performance today. What a disaster Red Bull is right now. I don't know if the show should be about, like, Ferrari's run, double podium 2 weeks in a row, 2 wins in a row, both drivers. First time Carlos Sainz ever having 2 wins in the same season, his 4th career win. But is this more about that and Ferrari's resurgence? Or is it how much, like, Red Bull is just collapsing week after week right before our eyes? Where did Perez finish? Back dead last.
Not good.
Dead last. Way back. And unlike World Series right now, you go way back in this. It's not the same as hitting a home run, hitting a dinger. He is a dinger right now. He stinks. Max has become Wild Man Max again, like back in the day. He's just driving like a kid again a little bit, dude. Like, just unaccountable and now driving dangerously. 2 separate instances. I think the first one he got a penalty on wasn't even as severe as the second one.
Oh, the second one was way worse.
He got a penalty on.
Yeah.
What the hell was up with Max today with those? Before we get to your dance about the ponies here, what the hell happened?
I have no idea. The pressure's really cooking. The car's duff. That's maybe they they did have the drivers' meeting before the weekend starts on Friday morning. They brought up overtaking in the meeting, and Max and Lando had some direct exchanges during that, so maybe some heat had carried over from Austin, I'm sure, in regards to that. Lewis came out this week also and said, he did it to me in 2001, or 2021. That's the way Max does it. Max, he's going to just push you off the track. He's not going to let you by. And the only way that's going to change, you're going to get clean, good quality racing, is the stewards are just going to have to step in, man up, and did what they did today, and just hand out the penalties, take them out of it. Only way you're going to learn. Only way you learn as a kid is when you stick them in the corner for timeout to not do crap.
The corner.
So
face the wall.
I mean,
sometimes you used to get, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, that you put your dunce cap on your head, which is like a big triangle, and they single you out for being a dunce. That dude needs I don't think they're allowed to do the dunce anymore. I think we're
probably not
dunce in this world. But I am wearing a referee shirt today, not just for Halloween, which is coming up here in the U.S. I don't know where else they celebrate Halloween. If Halloween wasn't a thing and someone invented it tomorrow, people would think they're crazy. But anyway, I digress. I'm wearing the ref shirt because, that's true, but I'm wearing the ref shirt because penalties were handed out finally. The stewards had a hell of a day. They went to work today, and there was some stuff, and I think the Sergio Perez, if he didn't lose or not get overtaken by Liam Lawson, I apologize, probably would have got another 5 to 10 second penalty himself there when they were battling. So Red Bull, it wasn't just Max today; it was Sergio, who can't pass like my grandma in traffic at the moment.
No.
Like, what the hell? No, I don't want no offense to Liam Lawson, but there's no way Sergio Perez in that Red Bull should not have been able to pass him. I don't see another week, just weak ass.
We had the same thing happen last week. Mm-hmm. The same thing happened last week. I went off on it when he tried to put him in the winners. He stinks.
At least he got points. Much needed points for Red Bull.
He stinks. Plain and simple.
Well, he really stunk this week. Stunk this week.
Yeah.
I mean,
as they say, he crapped the bed. To be honest,
came in dead last.
Yeah, well,
nobody calls it dead first, okay? Dead last. You stink. Like
plum last
in your home race,
man. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, but listen. In the end, man, Lando and Max, they hate each other. He recovered from it.
I mean, it's just they absolutely hate each other right now. Absolutely, 100%.
And it's, I think, good for the sport.
Well, Max is just dirty. Max is just racing dirty. I mean, give the guy room. Beat him. Go faster so he can't get there.
How do you think Lewis Hamilton feels in the last 8
but
days,
to be honest, to be honest, he could have got, the stewards usually don't do anything because it's the first corner, but Max pretty much pushed Carlos off track in the first corner. That's why Carlos had to take to the grass, because Max just pushed him all the way out. So that's what Max Verstappen is. That's what he does. And until the stewards continually just give him penalties for it, he's not going to change.
Yeah, when we don't have the fastest car.
The second move was dangerous as heck. If that's in the wrong spot, you put somebody to the wall, it could hurt him. And then somebody gets hurt.
That's truth.
I mean, so the stewards got to rein this crap in. They got to sit down, forget about waiting until Qatar for this meeting they're supposed to have about overtaking and such with the drivers. Why the hell can't you do it next week, like Brundle said during the broadcast today? I mean, come on now. That's fracking ridiculous. You know what? We're bringing the slap out now because the FIA is getting slapped for that crap right now, because that is absolutely ridiculous to be waiting that long. You got to make rules. You got to put standards in. And the stewards did a poor job today too, because that Perez Lawson, incident too. You could have definitely gave Lawson a penalty for that too, but they were leaning on that. They were leaning on another incident too. I can't think of it off the top of my head when somebody pushed somebody off the track, they let that go, but they gave Max the penalty. So there's got to be a little bit more consistency here. There's got to be consistency. There's got to be defined rules to have clean, quality racing, which is what we want to see. We want these guys side by side going to the corner. Abso-freaking-lutely. Like the old days when these guys would go at it. side by side for lap after lap after lap. We want that action. As racing fans, we want that action. But there's got to be rules defined so you don't have a guy like Max pushing people off the track constantly, not letting anybody by. We want racing. We don't want dirty racing. And that's what's going on right now. And the FIA is going to rein this crap in. They should have reined it in a number of years ago. I think I even brought that up on our damn show about the dirtiness of his racing. And the FIA needed to do something then. But they didn't. They let it go. And the last couple of years, you didn't even notice it because he was just so far beyond everybody goddamn else on the grid that there was no challenge. So something's got to be done. It's got to be done now.
In Fuego cheese. Dude's on fire right now. Jesus, man. Yeah, no, you should be pissed off. Listen, the captain
I like racing, and it's got to be clean. You need clean racing.
Safety in me says exactly what you said. You know, and Max has been ahead of the pack. I think we mentioned it before when Max was dominant. You can go back to some of the 2022, 21 or 22, even 23 when Max was dominating. And we talked about it. Listen, Max ahead of the pack. He was gone. He was 5 seconds ahead by the second lap. Every single race, he had clean air and he was gone. Every single race. So we didn't have the ability to see Max being Max. And now he was good for a while, but we knew. I think we saw it bubbling up the last few races, and I think we talked about how this was bubbling up a little bit. I didn't think he would go there because I think he spent so much time getting over his immaturity, and the guy started racing, 16 in F1? It's crazy. Yeah. But he's back to some immature shit again, and he can get someone really hurt.
It's Red Bull's fault, too, for not saying something to him themselves because they're chicken shit, because they don't want to lose him as a driver. So they're absolutely chicken shit and deserve to be kicked in the ass, too. I mean, Horner needs a big foot shoe in his ass right now. He needs to rein. They need to rein him in, plain and simple.
Question. Do you think Christian Horner's drop in stature amongst Formula One world created a situation where Max is now getting penalized? When he was hot to trot, king of F1, no penalties. Pulled the same shit.
Well, he wasn't. He was also so far ahead of everybody. He didn't have to push anybody off the track to do anything. But by the first corner, he was, by half a lap, he was a second up and gone. So, I mean, this hasn't happened since Lewis Hamilton. And we saw some of those battles with them side to side and ended up wrecking how many times? 3, 4? I mean, so we're back to the same crap we were a couple years ago, which F1 should have reined it in then. Defined it that you can't push somebody off the track and started dropping the penalties on them, and the crap wouldn't have been, and it would be over with. But they didn't. They didn't.
Because they love the Max Lewis battles. Because the only person up there with Max is Lewis. They loved it when Lewis's car was at Brazil 21, 22.
Oh, I remember the wreck in Britain.
Which
that
one
was Monza the same year. That was Monza. Yeah.
But they had some crazy kerfuffles, dude. But the Formula One crowd loves it.
We're pushing people off. Well, nobody wants to see people pushed off the track, and then there's no racing, and then people wreck.
It's different when you're 1-2. It's different when you're 1-2 in the front of the pack than.
Well, it's not 1-2 anymore. It's like 1-5.
Different. That's why it's different now. It's different when you're back. Third, fourth, fifth battling, then you're battling for the front. I think it's treated differently, but
I mean, the top 5 cars are no more than 3/10 off of each other. It's a tight pack in there now.
Such a tight pack.
There's not 1 or 2 drivers. There's not like 1 or 2 guys. There's like 4. You go into every weekend, 5 guys can win a race. Legit. Legit.
You got 7 different winners this season. You could throw Mercedes in there. You could throw Mercedes in there. They definitely tiered back.
I haven't talked about Ferrari yet.
We haven't even talked about Ferrari yet.
Who are now only 29 points behind McLaren. for the constructors. 25 points now ahead of Red Bull, who has dropped to third. How about that? How about that?
When's the last time you saw Red Bull down in third? It's crazy.
Long
Crazy,
time.
crazy, crazy. But I'm sure we'll get to a lot more of that in the news, as well as winners and losers. But first, sir, if you have not emailed the show, if you're not checked out us on YouTube, join the program any way you can. Go to YouTube, look up Greenie and the Cheese. You'll see some Formula One stuff up there. Check that out. We do have a winner in the raffle. We will announce that. I want to get everything ready first, so we'll have everything ready to ship out next week. So let's do that. We'll announce it next episode at Brazil. And then Cheese has been pressuring me to do another raffle, so we might do that as well. So next week we'll announce the winner for the last raffle. We'll open up a new raffle, which now I have to look for something to buy to raffle off, but all good. Anything for you guys for listening. And, of course, in the paddock@gmail.com. Hit us up, ask us a question, or bother us, or just say how much you love the show. Just to stroke my ego. Cheese is a little bit as well. All right. Sir, I'm strapping on my helmet. I am getting ready to go once around the track for your favorite segment. That is Quizmaster's Cockpit. 3 questions, 3 sectors. You get them all right, we're a winner. You get them any of the 3 wrong, immediately a loser. And since you already handed out the slap, it'll be a little trimmer, winners and losers this evening. So, sir, if you are ready.
I'm ready. Are you ready? Was the question.
I have no idea what the hell you're going to ask, so no.
I actually think you have 1 chance in 3 to get a correct answer.
All right.
To be dead honest, I'm a little outside of the box. A little outside the box with the questions. First one's in the box. The other 2 are outside.
Just ask the damn questions.
Question number 1. Who has the most wins at the Mexican Grand Prix?
Max Verstappen, who won until this year 5 out of the last 6 before that, right?
That is correct.
All right. In the box.
In the box.
A Googleable question.
Yeah. They're all pretty much Google them all.
All right.
To be honest about it. Question number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Going into today, Franco Colapinto has an average of 1.25 points per race. What year was the last time a Williams driver averaged the same?
Like, as a rookie?
No, just in general, a Williams driver averaged 1.25 points per race.
I'll go with the last year Williams won a race, which I believe is 2012.
No. Close, but no. Well, 5 years off. 2017 is the last time that happened.
All right. Is that Massa?
Question 3. This is a good one. In the 2016 Mexican Grand Prix, Max and Vettel were tussling. Max passed Vettel off track, didn't relinquish it, finishing 3rd. While he was in the cool-down room, he was given a 5-second penalty. And Sebastian Vettel came running up pit lane to get up on the podium. But he did not finish the race 3rd either. He was given a 10-second penalty for reckless driving. Who ended up finishing third that year at the Mexican Grand Prix?
Who ended up finishing third at the 2016 Mexican Grand Prix?
It's a good one. You had two people that were... You had somebody kicked out of the room because they didn't finish third. Somebody running up to get on the podium to get third. And then he didn't get third either.
I'm pretty sure Lewis won that race. So Rosberg? Probably someone who drove today.
He was actually on the podium. It's a friend of the program, or one of our favorites of the program.
Danny
Ricciardo.
Danny Rick question. All right. I didn't see that coming. I figured it was going to be like a Fernando Alonso or something.
That's just a very unique situation that occurred at the Mexican Grand Prix.
Watched that race, and I could not recall
some wild crap that went on there.
At all.
Yeah, and Vettel's penalty was actually because he moved under braking and stopped Ricciardo from passing him. So, there you go.
There you go. All right, so 1 out of 3.
As I predicted. So that makes you a loser as the Creed on a prior program. So let's go right to losers here. Yuki Tsunoda. I mean, just an all-around garbage weekend. There's talk of him testing for Red Bull. Like, frickin' really? Like, that's the same thing as keeping Perez in that seat, for Christ's sake. Come on. That's an awful decision to try and think about doing that. Crashed out in quali. Crashes out the first lap. I mean...
Guys, you've been tested for attention deficit disorder, not for Red Bull. He cannot concentrate. We've been talking about this for years. The guy cannot concentrate out there. He has those lapses, and that's literally what happened. He knocked tires like 3-4 times in a row.
Yeah.
You can't keep knocking tires like that. Obviously what happened. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, he's stinking. He's stinking. And, bad break, but Fernando Alonso, 400th race weekend. He won't get his 400th start till next week because of the incident that we were discussing a couple weeks ago with our friend from England in his book with the Indianapolis incident. So he won't get his 400th start until next week in Brazil. But his 400th race weekend was this weekend for Fernando. And what he last, a handful of laps before... Got some gunk in the radiators and cooked it up, and that was the end of that.
Fault. Not completely
Not
his
fault, but, that's rough.
Following up with that
weekend.
Following up with that, I'm definitely going to give a loser to Aston Martin in the same vein. For, again, no points again. Lance Stroll can just have his own, category on this show for just being awful. They need as much help as possible. They're getting it. It's coming, but there's a
I don't know
big
if it's
mountain to climb. I don't know if Newey's going to be enough, man. There's a big mountain to climb here. It is. It's bad. It's bad. And, Fernando Alonso, embarrassing Fernando in his 400th race weekend. After making a big deal about it, he barely makes it through a couple laps. That's bad news. Aston Martin. And Yuki. I mean, there's not enough slaps to go around today. I'm glad you handed it out early because I would have no idea where to go with this. No idea where to go with this. And you know what? I mean, Sergio Perez usually races really well in Mexico, but the fact that he just stunk. We didn't put him in losers last week. I tried to slip him in winners, and I got slapped. I got my hand slapped for that one. Try to get in the cookie jar. You were paying attention on that one. This week, he's got to go in losers. I think he finished dead last in unqualified racers, 17th out of 17. So, come on. And couldn't pass Liam Lawson for the freaking life of him. That's bad.
Got his car damaged during that too, and just ruined his day completely.
I mean,
his race was ruined from the start when he jumped the start and got a 5-second penalty for that. I mean, Jesus.
And he should have got another 5-second for the tussle with Lawson. But people were saying Lawson could have got the same. It could have went the same way.
I think Lawson probably would have got it more. I think Lawson should have got the penalty for forcing him off track.
But that's another discussion.
Forcing Perez off track.
And those are my losers.
All right, so that'll take us to winners. There's actually a bunch of winners you could pick today. I'll leave one big one for you personally.
Yes, you will. Damn straight you will. I should have had 2 Red Bulls before the show.
Let's give it up for Oscar Piastri. It's a great recovery drive from the back, puts it up front, Something that Sergio Perez probably should have done today, too. But he stinks, so that's not going to happen. But Oscar takes care of business and does what you're supposed to do. When you're in a top team and you start the back, you get your ass to the front. So give it up for Oscar on that one. We ain't discussed enough. Carlos Sainz, that was brilliant. Brilliant drive. To win from pole at Mexico is not freaking easy.
No.
Because, you got that 811 meters from the start to the first corner. So to win from pole at Mexico, that's a solid drive. Because that doesn't happen very often.
There's only one driver, who's Max Verstappen, that's won more than 2 races in Mexico. No one's won 3.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Clark won 3, but it wasn't in an F1 sanctioned race.
One of them was not, no.
But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, this is an absolute great drive.
Point of information.
It's point of information. Well, we could also, I could give you another couple tidbits too that I saw today. But maybe I'll save that for later for you.
Right on. We still got more of the program left. Yeah,
I'll turn it over to you for I got a couple more I could throw too, but let's let you have yours. And if there's any left,
I love that they let Lewis just go. Yep. He had obviously better pace than Russell did. And in a normal weekend, which is no longer normal with Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton as he's leaving for Ferrari. A couple more races left for Mercedes, believe it or not, and then he's out.
Well, that move's looking pretty good right now. I'll tell you that.
So absolutely, I know we talked about it earlier in the season how it might not be the best idea, and now I'm sure Lewis is pretty pumped. But he drove a great race today, finished just off podium in 4th, and it was great all day. I think they really, really, really have made some serious moves in the right direction. Serious since the beginning of the season.
I think there's a lot of problems there in Mercedes, to be honest. They got car problems. I mean, they have two different cars basically today after Russell wrecked out again. They're having trouble with rear end grip right now. So to finish 4th with a car that's a little iffy on the rear, that's a solid drive from Lewis.
Solid.
And all right. Let's have your party time. Come on.
And of course.
Let's have it.
Of course, we got to go with Haas. Haas Racing.
Double points!
To clear themselves from the V-Carb, to clear themselves and to get a solid 10 points ahead is or more than that now. I think 10. Double digits now, at least. It's incredible, dude. It's incredible. And to be able to be in a situation to finish 6th and with Yuki being a disaster, just take advantage. Now, we still got a few races left. Anything could happen. But the way these teams are finishing, it's going to be tough for Haas to lose this one. They picked up a 25%, I think they started 38 points and picked up 6 or 8 points. I don't even know what they picked up. But enough to put them double digits ahead. Looking great.
10 points.
10 points ahead.
Yes.
10 points ahead.
Yes. Since you're out of Mexico. Yes.
And there you go. And those are my winners. Can't be too pumped. But finishing 6th, you got to get pumped.
You got a double point. What do you mean? You should be
potentially at the end of this season. Potentially at the end of this season to be able to finish 6th is really just beyond.
It's massive. That's humongous. Humongous to turn around that's come from that team after getting Gunther out of there. Maybe that was part of the problem. Apparently.
Maybe.
You know what? I'm going to throw another one, too. Pierre Gasly getting the Alpine in 10th.
There you go.
That piece of junk. That big, overweight piece of junk. Getting them the points. That's some solid driving.
And those are winners and losers.